All right, let's talk about design. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how truly great, functional design actually gets made. We're going to transform it from this kind of mysterious art into a reliable, repeatable method that pretty much anyone can use. Let's jump in.
So let's kick things off with a pretty wild question. Is design more like fine art, or is it more like, well, plumbing? I know, it sounds a little crazy, but how you answer this one question can literally be the difference between creating work that's just, decoration, and work that actually solves a real problem in the world.
And this right here, this is the heart of the issue. Over on the left, you've got the artist myth, this romantic idea that you have to wait for some magical lightning bolt of inspiration. But the professional reality, it's totally different. Pros don't wait around. They dig in and investigate problems. Their focus isn't just on self-expression. It's on the user's needs. And honestly, they value a reliable process way more than just raw talent. Getting stuck in that artist myth is probably the biggest roadblock for aspiring designers.
So that brings us to our first big idea, the designer's dilemma. It's that super frustrating gap between having really good taste but not being able to create consistently great work. And you know what? It almost always comes from treating design like it's art instead of the problem-solving craft it really is.
These are the traps so many of us fall into. Believing that design is just art's cousin, or that just being different automatically makes something good, that stuff creates a really flawed foundation. It leads to work that, yeah, it might look cool, it might even win an award, but it completely misses the mark on solving the client's actual problem.
Okay, so how do we break out of that trap? Well, it all starts with a huge mindset shift. This is really the 80-20 of professional design, It's the 20% of thinking that's going to drive 80% of your results. We're going to call it the PRO mindset.
We're talking about the PRO mindset. It's a super simple but really powerful little acronym. It's designed to just snap your brain out of that artist myth and get you thinking like a professional who's focused on function, not just fleeting inspiration.
First up, P is for problem solving. This is key. Great design is not decoration, it's diagnosis. Think about it. A plumber doesn't show up to make your pipes look pretty. They're there to find the leak, to find the real problem, and fix it. Is the client's website confusing? Are sales dropping? That's the leak you're there to fix.
Next up, R is for reasoning. This is huge. It means every single decision you make, the colors, the fonts, the layout, it all has to be defensible. It can't just feel right. You need to be able to explain the why behind every single choice based on a system that supports the main goal.
And finally, O stands for objective-driven. This is all about purpose. Every single thing you put on that page, on that screen, does it have a job? What's the objective of this button? What's the goal of this headline? If something isn't actively helping you reach an objective, it's just noise, and you got to get rid of it.
Okay, so once you've got that PRO mindset locked in, you're ready for the actual blueprint. Let's look at how this way of thinking builds into a step-by-step method you can use on basically any design project.
The entire professional process really boils down to 4 simple stages: discover, plan, create, and apply. And to make this whole thing stick, we're going to use a really simple analogy for the rest of this explainer. We're going to think about it like we're building a house.
I mean, it just makes sense, right? You would never, ever start building a house by just grabbing a hammer and some nails and hoping for the best. No way. You have to survey the land, you have to draw up detailed blueprints, and only then can you even think about starting construction. This metaphor makes a complicated process feel super intuitive.
All right, let's dive into those first 2 stages. This is all about laying the foundation for our house. This is the absolutely critical groundwork you do before any of the fun, creative stuff even starts. It's all about surveying the land and drawing the blueprints.
First up, stage 1, discover. Or, as we're calling it, survey the land. This is your detective phase. You're asking tons of questions, you're interviewing customers, you're researching the competition. See, you're not looking for inspiration here, you're looking for information. You're mapping out the problems and the opportunities.
Okay, once you know the lay of the land, it's time for stage 2, plan. This is where you actually draw the blueprints. You're setting crystal clear goals, deciding on the strategy, making wireframes. This stage is all about making sure that you, your team, your client, everybody agrees on exactly what is being built before a single creative decision is made. Skipping this is just a recipe for disaster.
Okay, our foundation is poured, the blueprints are approved. Now for the fun part. Let's start building. These next 2 stages, create and apply, are the active construction phase of our project.
Stage 3 is create. Now, this is the part a lot of people think of when they hear design, the brainstorming, the cool ideas. But here's the secret. It's not random. Every single idea is generated based on the plan. You use things like style boards to explore different directions. Then you edit everything down to only the strongest concepts, and you get the client to sign off before you move forward. This keeps all the creative work on track and on strategy.
And that brings us to the final step, stage 4, apply. This is all about refining and finishing. You build prototypes, you test them with actual users, and you refine everything based on their feedback. You iterate. This is where you really sweat the details, polishing and perfecting the design until it's absolutely ready for the real world.
You know, this quote from Eric Karjaluoto just wraps it all up so perfectly. Design isn't some mysterious gift you're born with. It's a philosophy, and it's a process. It's a learnable, repeatable system that helps you create communication that actually works. So I want to leave you with this. The next time you sit down to work on a project, don't just ask yourself, what cool thing can I make? Armed with this blueprint, you can ask a much more powerful question. What problem will you solve? Thanks for tuning in.